What's up, family? Welcome back to Truthville, USA. I am Q. So I'm bringing you the news that I don't typically bring. I'm bringing you some news that you won't hear hardly anywhere else. But it is so important as it pertains to Donald Trump and as it pertains to this awful ruling that was made against him and several other awful rulings that were made. So let me lay the foundation here real quick. This is big, so please don't miss it. All right, so we know that there is not a bigger prize, or you might say there is. If there is, answer it below. But there doesn't seem to be a bigger prize or bigger stakes than Donald Trump losing this election. Is there any amount of money that the elites would not pay in order to ensure that Donald Trump does not run and is not eligible to run in 2024? Think about that for a second. Now, we now have a story coming out about jurors that were paid $120,000, where the money was left, and they were promised more if they would simply bring back a not guilty verdict. This happened in Minnesota. Now, I moved down here from Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for a long time. So as the story goes, and those of you guys that are in Minnesota, there are several of you guys that are there, the Somali community in Minnesota is humongous. All right. Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, huge Somali population. Now, they're almost a protected group, right? They have developed great advocacy programs. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever you say about a Somali is probably going to get you in a heap of trouble. They can get away with things that other people cannot. So during COVID, they actually swindled $250 million from the American taxpayer in a scheme called Feed My Children. Now, Ilhan Omar, she's from that community. She's done everything she can to protect the people from that community. And so they swindled this money. There was, I want to say 25 people that were found that were guilty, that were under investigation. 18 of those people took plea deals and said yes, they pled guilty. The 7 that were left were on the hook for $40 million. And because they were not being sequestered, someone showed up to one of the jurors' houses with $120,000 in a duffel bag and said, there'll be more where this came from. There'll be more presents if your family member gave the name, will bring a not guilty verdict. Okay, so how did they get these people's names? How did they get their addresses? That information is supposed to be private. That information should never be given out, especially during the trial. How does that happen? And we're talking about, don't shoot me, but we're talking about a measly $40 million. You cannot tell me that if someone could write a $40 million check to make sure that Donald Trump did not run for office, they would do it in a heartbeat. They could pass a hat around and have that money in less than an hour. So if they are willing to bribe jurors in this case, and you mean to tell me that the powerful people that be were not interested in doing the same thing in Donald Trump's case in New York? I think you're mistaken, and I think you're living in denial. Tell me if I'm wrong. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think that this type of shenanigans took place in Trump's trial? I'll look forward to hearing from you. Be blessed. Make sure you like, share. See you later.